Hello guys and welcome to Laravel 7 tutorials. So guys, in the previous video we successfully implemented the relationships of blogs with user, blogs with categories and blogs with tags. Okay, and before that we implemented our form that we will be using for our blog related CRUD operation. Okay guys, so in this video we are finally going to start our CRUD operation that is related to blogs, and this specific video we are going to start with the create operations for blogs. Okay, so I hope you guys are really excited because it is going to be fun. Okay, so without wasting any further time, I will move to Sublime and I will move to resources, views. I just want to show you the form. Okay, and views, backend, and right here create blog page. Okay, so we have already implemented our form, as you can see. Okay, now we have our action URL in place, method post, and in type multi-part form data for image. Basically we use this ink type for when we are using image in our form to submit that. Okay, so whenever let's say you are using you are basically passing an image with the form, what you have to do, you have to use this ink type. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay guys, so let's run our project and I will move to git bash. I have already accessed my project directory and folder, so what I'm going to do is php artisan serve. Okay, now our project is started. Let's move to Google and I will access my project right here. Okay, let's try to log in and I will write my ID and password. Okay, login, and now let's move to blogs, and from blogs right here add blog. Okay, so this is our form right here guys, and you can see our form is up and running. So the next step is let's create a route to submit this post request. Okay, so for that I will move to web.php. Okay, now first of all I'm going to remove this configuration or testing route. Okay, because we don't need that anymore. We already tested our relationships and they are working perfectly fine. Okay, so I'm going to create a route right here because this section right here relates to blogs related CRUD. Okay, route post, and this time route name would be, the URL would be right here, blog create. Okay, blog create, and I'm going to use this blog controller, and for this purpose I'm going to use a create method. Okay, so we don't have this create method inside our blog controller, so let's move to blog controller. Okay, right here I'm going to put a comment create blog. Okay, so that we know this method relates to create blog operation. Public function create, and I'm going to pass a request. Basically we are going to use a request so that we are able to get everything that we pass in the form. Okay, right here request, that's it. Now first of all what I'm going to do is I'm going to dd everything that I'm getting from my form. Okay, so let's say dd $request all, that's it. Okay, now let's move right here and I'm going to do a refresh. Okay, now let's submit our form without any data. Okay, let's try that out. Okay, so first of all we have an HTML required field. In order to test this form we are going to remove it. Why? Let's say if you want to have this required field that is related to HTML element, you can have it, but guys this is not a validation, a proper validation. Why? Let me show you. Let's say if I'm going to do an inspect on this element, because it is showing that this field is required. I will show you once again, create, and right here please fill out this field. So let's say if I'm going to remove this required attribute right here, that's it. Now we will not see any sort of validation right here. Why? Because I just removed it with the help of inspect. Okay, now you can see we don't have any sort of error or please fill out this field related message. Okay, so this validation is not a proper way to go along. Okay, always rely on your backend validation. Okay guys, you can have it, but major point right here is you must have your validation in place inside the controller or whatever it is, whatever method you are using, but don't rely on this one. Okay, you can have it along with your validation, but for now I will just remove it. Okay, and I will remove it from right here as well, and let's move forward. Okay, we don't have it here, right here, no. Okay, right here, let's remove this and let's move forward. Okay, let's remove it from here as well. Okay, let's move forward right here, and because I wanted to show you guys something, so that's why I'm doing it right here. Okay, I just removed the required attributes from these HTML input fields. Okay, I'm going to refresh, and now let's submit our form once again and let's see what we have. Create. Okay, so guys, now we are hitting a route. Basically we are hitting this route, and with the help of this route we are hitting our method successfully. As you can see, we have our data right here. Okay, so now every field was null, but right here you can see, let me show you. Okay, let me show you here. I will just move back. Okay, now right here we have an image input field. Okay, like the name of this field is image, but we can't see it right here. Let me show you once again. See right here we have an image alt, and we don't have any sort of image right here, and also we don't have this tags field. Why? Because this one is going to be an array. So let's say if this array is empty, we are not going to see anything at the back end. Okay, one more thing about the image, that is whenever you are not going to upload any sort of image, any image in the input field, you are not going to see anything right here. Okay, now let me show you with the help of image. Let's try to fill it with the image. Okay, so I'm going to select one, down desktop. I have some images. Okay, images folder right here, first one, that's it. Okay, now create. Now you can see we have an additional field of image which we should have, and we have all our image related data right here. Okay, now let me show you the tags as well, because we passed it as an empty. So let's try to select this one, and let's say the third one. Now let's try to create, and now you will be able to see the tags right here. See, now it's not empty, and we will see our data right here. Okay, so I hope you guys got the point. Okay guys, so first of all in this process we are going to implement the validation, and before that I want to handle this field. Why? Let me show you with an example. So first of all I will move to database, because I want to show you that the active field in our database is boolean. Okay, so I'm going to blogging structure, let's say this one. First of all, let's access our table, blogs structure. Right here you can see it's tiny-int, it means 0 or 1, further means boolean. Okay, let me show you in the database as well, for in the migration file. Okay, create blogs right here. Right here you can see that this field is boolean, so we are going to only have 0 or 1. Okay, just keep that in mind. So right here what we are getting in this active is on. Why? Let me show you. Guys, whenever we have this check input fields, so what we have in Laravel is, let's say if you are going to tick this or check this, and let's proceed, so you are going to have this on right here. Okay, and now let's say if I uncheck this field, we are going to have nothing. See right here we don't have anything. So first of all, with the help of before the validation, I'm going to handle this field. How? Let me show you. Let's move to the controller and let's implement our validation. Okay guys, okay, so first of all let's do that. $active, I'm creating a variable, is equals to, and I am getting the request active, whatever we have in this from this form right here in this active field, or whatever you can say. Okay, so right here request active, I'm putting a condition. If request active equals to on, what you will do is assign it as 1 else 0. Okay, so right here, if you have any sort of confusion, basically guys, this is a ternary condition, or you can say short form of if and else. Okay, so this is my condition block right here. $request and object property is equals to on. If it is on, what you have to do is assign it this. Else, this column refers to else condition, and this is if our condition is true. Okay, so right here it's this is called ternary condition, or you can say short form of if or else, whatever you like. Okay, but the name, the official name is ternary condition. Okay, so I hope you guys got my point. Okay guys, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the current user ID. Okay, so let's do that, because many people have asked me this question. So let's do that first. Use auth. I will be using auth to get the authenticated or logged in user ID. Okay, so let's do $user is equals to auth user. Now what we have right here in this user, the currently logged in user related data. Okay, let me show you. $user, or let's say name. Okay, so let's move back, and when I'm going to submit this form, I'm going to see the user related name. Right here you can see my name, and let's say if I want to get the ID of this user, the logged in user ID, I will simply do this. Okay, change it to the ID, submit form. Okay, so now we have logged in user ID. So we have our user ID, and we have put a condition for active fields right here, active or non-active. Okay, so now we are good to go. Now the next thing that I want to do is basically I'm going to implement the validation, but I am going to do it a bit differently. Why? Because in this scenario we are going to validate our image. We are going to take our image and put that image in our folders, in the public folder, and we are going to manipulate our image. So what I want right here is I am going to keep my validation separate from this method right here. I don't want to mess this create function right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this, and I'm going to create a method which I'm writing right here, validate blog. Okay, now I will be passing my whole request to this method. Okay, and we will be validating our form right here. Okay, let's create that function, validate blog. Okay, let's move forward. Public function validate blog $request, and right here now I'm going to dd right here, and you will see we have everything just perfectly fine. dd $request all. Okay guys, let's try to move to our website right here, and I'm going to create this once again. Okay, so now you can see we are dd the die and dump. We use the die and dump to print a request, and we have our data right here, and this time we are accessing everything from this method. Okay, so right here this refers to the block controller class. Okay, whenever we are using this in a specific class, $this refers to that class name right here. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay guys, so now we can start validating our form. So let's do that without wasting any further time. So I hope you guys are excited. Okay, let's move, and I'm going to do $request validate, and let's do it like this. Okay, first of all I'm going to validate my title field. Okay, so let's start with title, not like this. Okay, now what I want for the title is required minimum 3 characters and maximum, let's say 255. Okay, now let's apply it for the URL, and for URL we are going to have required min 3 max 255 and one more. as I said earlier in the previous video, that URL field for our blogs is going to be unique. Okay, so I told you guys that we can implement the unique field by rolling back our migration, and right here what we have to do is simply implement right here the unique field right here. Sorry guys, like this, unique. Okay, but what else we can do is we can simply do it right here with the validation, with the help of validation. So in this case I'm not going to revert because I wanted to show you guys this step, that let's say if you forgot to include a default or unique field right here in the migration, so what you can do is you can also perform these type of action right here in the validation. Okay, so let's do that, and for this it is going to be unique for in the blogs table. Okay, the table name I am assigning right here. Okay, so what I did right here is I am saying to the validation that let's move to this block structure so I can describe it better right here. Okay, so what I have done right here, I want this URL column to be unique in blogs table right here. Okay, so right here my condition is like this. Okay, uniques in blogs table. Okay, so I hope you guys got my point. Okay, let's move forward, and next field would be okay, let's see in the migration. Okay, title URL. Okay, image. So let's move to image. Sorry guys. Okay, so let's implement it for the category first, because these are the first field that are related to our forms. So let's go in sequence. Okay, it should be only required, that's it. Okay, let's move forward, and then let's say for tags again. Now I want to show you something else. Let's move to our form, tags right here. As you can see, we have this input field name as an array, tags array right here. Okay, so whenever you are going to apply a validation for this type of array, what you have to do is you only have to assign the names. That's it, the name, sorry, not names. Okay, so that's it, and for this it should, once again it should be only required. That's it. Let's move forward. Now comes the image. Okay, let's do it for the image, and for image what I want is, okay, let me correct this error. Okay, for the image I want it to be required, and I want the MIME types of, let's say, JPG and PNG. Sorry, for the JPG. Okay, sorry. Okay guys, and let's say it should be PNG, and let's say BMP, and let's say GIF. Okay, that's it. Okay, you can apply more. All you have to do, just visit the documentation and you can see more related image related validation. Okay, so one more thing what I want is the maximum size of the image should be 2000. 2000 means right here is 2 MB. Okay, let's move forward, and right now I'm going to apply image alt, and for image alt I will say required and minimum 3 and maximum 255. Okay, so in the previous video we have implemented this field as we haven't defined the characters limits, if you can see right here. Okay, so this is because I just wanted to show you guys, let's say if you haven't applied or haven't defined a character length right here, that this field should not exceed specific character length. So let's say I forgot that in that place because I wanted to show you guys. Okay, so now what we can do is we can define it right here, and that's it. We will not be able to exceed our characters for this input field, the limit that we have defined, in this case 255. Okay, but I just want to mention one more thing right here, that is, let's say if you have defined a 255 character length right here. Okay, let's say it was like this. Okay, now you will not be able to exceed this limit than the one you defined right here. Let's say I wanted it to be of 500, but you will not be able to do this. Why? Because you are going to get an exception. Why? because you have already declared it to maximum 255 characters with the help of migration. Okay, so just keep that in mind. If you have defined it right here and you are exceeding your limit, that won't be possible and you are going to get an exception. Okay, just keep that in mind. But what you can do is, let's say if you don't have your limit right here, so you can define your limit with the help of validation in this case. Okay, so I hope you guys got the point. And okay, let's move forward. So the next field is meta, and for meta, once again, I want it to be required and minimum 3, max 255. Once again, 255 characters are enough. Okay, let's move forward, and in this case I'm going to have short description. Okay, and I will define it to be required minimum 3, and let's say in this case I want it to be maximum of 500 characters because it is a short description, summarization of a description, so it should be of at least 500 characters. Okay, so right here we have already defined 500 limit and we are assigning it 500 right here as well. Okay, let's move forward, and last would be, not last because we have some more, description. And for description I want it to be required and minimum, in this case I want it to be minimum of 10 characters. Why? I will show you. And maximum no limit. I don't want to put a limit because we can have as many characters as we want. Let's say 2000, 4000. Okay, so the next step is for the active. We don't have any validation for active. Okay, because we have already handled it with the help of the condition, ternary condition right here. If it is 0, this means false. 1, this means true. Okay, so let me show you why did I applied minimum of 10 characters right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to implement and run this right here. I want to show with the help of a DD what we have in the description. Let's say $request description. Okay, because this is a CK editor, and whenever we write anything in the CK editor, it is going to use HTML elements, h1, p tag, span, etc. So what we have to do is we have to count them in. Okay, so let's revert, and I'm going to put 3 characters. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and let's say create. And we have some error, I think. Yes, let's fix it first. Where? Okay, right here. Sorry, we are missing a semicolon right here. Sorry guys, sorry for the silly mistake. Let's refresh. Okay, so now you can see I only typed 1, 2, 3. Let me show you once again. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and let's say create, and right here you can see the p tags. Okay, so each of them is counted as a character, so in total we have 10 characters right here. So I want it to be minimum of 10 characters. That's the reason. Okay guys, right here 10 characters. Okay, so this is the reason that I wanted it to be of 10 characters. Okay, so guys, our validation is working perfectly fine. Okay, now I just want to mention one more thing right here. That is, let's say if I'm going to implement a relationship, if I'm going to submit my form and I want to see if the validation was successful, I'm just going to write success just in case. Okay, so let's say if you think your validation was correct and you should reach your success method right here, so what you can do is print your errors right here, so that let's say if in case there was an error, you will be able to see right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to search for the errors @if $errors. Let's say if we have errors @and if, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to for each for each $errors all as $error. Okay, and let's move forward, and let's say just a span, let's say with a class of text danger, this one. and let's get an error right here, $error. Okay, so now let's enter for each and for each. That's it. So now let's go back. Let's say you have some data in each of the input field and you are not able to proceed to the controller. What you can do is you can always use this method to get all the errors that you are getting while submitting the form. Let me show you. Create, and now we have some errors. Okay, let's put a BR so it is nice and clear. Okay, let's refresh. Now you will be able to see that there were some forms in the error, so you should correct those error to proceed. Right here the title field is required, URL field, tags, image field, etc. Okay, so let's say if you thought that you have correct data in your form, but what you did was, let's say, let me show you another example. Let's move to this PC, sorry, the desktop, and I'm going to submit this laravel.txt file. Okay, it's a text file, and let's proceed. And if you don't have these, Control X, I will remove it. Okay, so let's create. Now you will not be able to see anything right here, but you just inputted your field. So this is why this method is always helpful. You can also use DD, but right here this is the most important method, not a method, but it is the most relevant way to check the errors if you have any. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to perform the same procedure once again, just to let you guys know that why this is helpful. Okay, so now you can see the error right here. The image must be a file of type JPEG, etc. Okay, so I hope you guys got my point. Okay, you can keep that if you want. Okay, let's move further, and now we have our validation in place and it is working perfectly fine. The next thing I want to do is, first of all, we need to pass this request if the validation is successful. Let's say if we don't have any error, we want to get our method right here, or we want to proceed further. Okay, so first of all I want to return, let's say if we don't have any error, return the request. That's it. Now we will be able to see our request right here. Okay, and now this time I'm going to submit my form without any errors. Okay, let's do that. Okay, let's write something and let's select something. Let's select an image this time. Okay, and this time, just for testing, create. Okay, so now you can see the image alt field is required, so we had an error, sorry guys. Okay, let's fill this again and let's say image. I forgot one field, that is right here. Okay, create. So now you can see we have successfully passed a request and we are able to see everything that is right here. If we do all, we will be able to see our fields, the input fields. Okay, let's refresh again and right here. So everything is working perfectly fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to handle the image and we are going to manipulate it. Okay, so let's do that guys. I know you guys are excited, right? Okay, let's do that. Okay guys, so first of all what I want is I'm going to create a variable uploaded image is equals to, and I'm going to get the image that we are having in this form, okay, with the help of name of the image right here. Okay, so let's do that. $request file and the input field name, remember that guys. Okay, it is not related to the picture image, but it is related to the field right here. Let's say if I have a name right here as file, so what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to get this as a file. Okay, just keep that in mind. In this case I have the column name image, so I'm going to do it like this. Okay, now we have our image in this uploaded image, so I'm going to show it to you. dd $uploaded image. Okay, let's try to refresh right here. Okay, so now we are able to see our image related data. Okay, let's move forward. And now what I want is, I want to save the image or get the image name with extension. So let's do that. Image with extension. Let's say extension. Okay, short form. Okay, so how am I going to do this? I'm going to use this variable in which we have our image. So let's do it. Uploaded image, and I'm going to implement the request method, that is get client original name. Okay, in this case I'm getting the full name with extension, image with extension, this one. Let's dd this. Okay, so now we are able to see our image name with extension. Okay, so now let's move forward. Okay, so I hope you guys are liking this video already. Okay, so let's move forward. Now what I want is, I want to get the name of the image, only the name. Okay guys, so let's do that. $image name is equals to path info, and right here what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the image name with the help of this. Okay, so let's do that. $image with extension. And how are we going to get this? By using path info underscore file name. That's it. Okay, let's dd our image name, this one, and let's see this. I just wanted to show you guys each and every step right here. So we have our image name now, not the extension. Okay, so let's move forward. Now what I want is, guys, I want to get the extension separately, because I'm going to manipulate this image, okay, while uploading it. Image extension, let's say, or ext, let's say, equals to. Now how are we going to get the extension? It's simple, guys. Once again, I'm going to use this uploaded image, and once again we have one more method to get the extension, get client original extension. That's it. And let's ddr extension, image extension. Let's see what we have. Okay, so we have JPG as an extension. Okay guys, so I hope you guys are liking this. Okay, let's move forward, and now is the time that we are going to create a manipulated name for our image. Why? We will discuss this, but let's do this procedure first. Okay, so now what I want is, I want to save my image as $image name. Then I want to concatenate something, I just want to show you something. Okay, I want to concatenate this hyphen, and after that I'm going to add time to my image. Okay, and then I'm going to concatenate a dot, and then I'm going to concatenate the extension of my image, which is in the image extension. Okay, so now let's get our image, manipulated image. And let's see what we have. Okay, so right here, this is our image name, and this is the current time that we have, and this is .jpg. Now let me show you. If I do a refresh, you can see the time has changed once again. Okay, so why we did this manipulation to our image? Let me tell you with an example. Okay guys, let's say we have two users, and both of them had the file or the image with the same name. Let's say 1.jpg, 1.jpg. Okay, both user just implemented and used the form for the submission, and they submitted their images. Now let's say one of them is logged in and he wants to see his image. Now what will happen right here is, it is going to get confused which of these images is related to this specific user, because we have two images in the database, two images in the same directory or folder. Okay, so that's why we did that. let's say if both the user are going to submit the form using the same image 1.jpg, we are adding and we are manipulating the image by adding the times so that each image name is different from other. So I hope I was clear, and I hope you guys got the point for the manipulation. Okay, and I hope you guys like this. Okay, now is the time that we move our image to the public directory and save it somewhere else. Sorry, it's not else, but save it somewhere in the public folder, and then we are going to add this image to our database. Okay, so let's save the image first. So $request. And in this case, what I want is, I want my image. I'm getting the image with the help of request image, and I want to move this image. Okay, so first of all, let's say we are going to save it in the public folder. So let's say public_path. Okay, and in the public path, what we are going to do is, I'm going to assign a folder or directory name images/blog images. Okay, and I want to submit this image, or I want to create a file in this specific folder right here. Okay, and which file? Any guesses, guys? $image, because we are going to use we are going to save this image right here in the database. Okay, so we must match our database field or column data with our folder structure data. Okay, so now what is going to happen right here, we are manipulating our image. Once the manipulation is done, what it is going to do, we are moving our image, okay, in the public path. Right here, public path means this public folder. Okay, after that I have defined the subdirectory images. Okay, so in this case it is going to see for the images folder right here, which is not right here. So if it is unable to find this images folder, what it is going to do, it is going to create a folder right here. Then it is going to look for a folder named blog images, and if it was unable to find it, it is going to create one inside this images folder. Okay, and then it is going to save our image right in that specific folder. Okay, for the first attempt we don't have this folder, we don't need to worry about, because Laravel is going to create a folder for us in this case. Okay, so I hope you guys got the point, and you will see it with the help of example. Right here you can see we don't have any folder named images, okay, and not the blog images. Okay guys, so let's move forward, and we have successfully manipulated our image. Now the next task is to create our blogs. Okay, so let's do that. $blog, and for the submission, once again I'm going to use the class useAppBlog. Okay, now it's fine. Let's move forward. Okay, and I'm going to use the eloquent way. $blog equals to blog create, and let's create our data. Okay, so for the user ID, we have already handled it right here. Let me show you right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to assign the logged in user ID to this user ID. So let's do that. $user ID, that's it. Okay, now for the category ID, what we can do is we can simply use $request, because we have already validated a request. Okay, I just want to mention one more thing right here. Let's say if our validation gets failed, we are never ever going to proceed to these lines. Okay, if the validation fails, we are going to redirect back, and we will be able to see our errors. Okay, just in case the validation is successful and we don't have any sort of error, we are going to proceed to these further the next lines. Okay, so for the category ID, once it is validated, I can simply put that in my database column. Okay, so let's do that, category, and let's move forward. Okay, so I think I made a mistake. Yes guys, okay, and the mistake is right here. Okay, yeah, this one, sorry guys. Okay, $user ID, let's move forward, and for the category _ID, I'm going to use Once again, let's correct this. Let's move forward. $request category. Let's move forward, and next is I think title, and for the title I want it to be request title. Let's move forward. For the URL, let's get it from the field from the request, sorry. And let's move forward. What we have next is I think image, yeah, and this time let's say, any guesses guys, where are we going to get this image? I have already told you. Okay, so this time we are going to input this image right here. Okay, so I can simply assign this variable to right here, this column, $image, as simple as that. Okay, let's move forward. Image underscore alt. For this I'm going to use $request image underscore alt, whatever we have in this input field. Okay, let's next field would be meta, and for meta once again we are going to get it from the request meta. And for the short description, once again we can use request $request short description, and for the description we can use the request once again short description, not short description, sorry guys. Okay, and for the active we are going to use the variable active. If we are going to have 1 or 0, we basically, I have already told you, this is a condition. If it is on, we are going to have 1 and in this variable, and if it is going to be 0, we are going to have 0 in this variable right here. Okay, so we can simply do this $active. That's it. Now we have successfully implemented our blog creation. Okay, so one thing I am missing, maybe you guessed it. Okay, so let me tell you, you can't see any tags ID right here. Why? What's the reason? Guys, because the blogs and tags relationship is many to many. So this is how we are going to implement, or we are going to insert the data into the pivot table. Let me show you. Okay, once the blog is created, I can simply use this blog for the let's say for the insertion into the pivot table. So what I'm going to do, $blog, and I'm going to use the tags method that we have in our blog.php. Let me show you so there is no confusion. This method. Okay, so let's move right here, tags. And we have a very powerful method right here to insert the pivot related data, that is attach, and whatever I have in the request tags, as I have showed you, I can simply put it right here, and it is going to do all the ugly work for us. Okay guys, so I hope you guys got the point. Okay, once it is done, I will show you with an example. Okay, don't you worry. Basically what I'm doing right here, once the blog is created, I'm using this variable blog, and I'm using the method that we have in our blog.php, and I'm using the predefined method that is attach, and it is very powerful right here. You can see it is going to assign all the tags to this blog, this specific blog that we just created. Let's move here, and blogging inside blog tag right here. Let's see, we have only 5 IDs. Basically we have only 5 rows right here in this column. And now when I'm going to create an image, create a blog, we are going to have more right here. Okay, just keep an eye on this. Okay, so first of all I want to remove this hyphen, because this was just for showing you that how our name is separated from the time right here. I'm going to remove this. Okay, that's it. Image name, time, concatenated directly, and then concatenated .y for using the extension, and then the extension name right here. Okay, so now everything looks fine. Now what we can do is, once everything is fine, let's say return redirect back to, let's say, with success. and let's say the message would be successful. We are not going to see this because we haven't done anything for this one, okay, for now. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, guys, I am going to create a blog. Let's do that. Okay, let's do a refresh. Okay guys, so now we have our form. So I'm going to create my first blog. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to print it right here, my, let's say, first blog, okay, like this. And let's say, okay, one more thing, guys, we have we don't have these categories and tags, okay, so let's for each them first. Okay, so let's move right here. Just want to show you, see, these are the hard-coded values and we want these values to be from the database. So let's do that. Okay, so which view is this? Create blog. Let's see in the blog controller where we are returning this create blog view right here. Okay, so I'm going to include the classes so that I can make a query and get everything from the categories and tags table. So let's use them. Use app category, use app tags, not tags, tag. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get everything right here. Dollar categories is equals to category all, that's it. Okay, and let me show you that we have each and every category right here. Now categories. Okay, let's move to our view. Now we are going to see our categories right here. See, okay, so we have our 5 categories right here. You can see the names and data if you want to. Okay, now the same way I'm going to get all the tags. Dollar tags is equals to tag all. Okay, now what I'm going to do, if you want to, you can DD this one as well, but I'm sure this method works perfectly fine. Now what we need is we need to pass these categories and tags to our view so that we can use the for each loop. Okay, compact and without a dollar sign, let's use this variable categories, not like this, sorry guys, and the tags. Okay, so this is why I use compact, because this is the most powerful method I have seen in Laravel. We can simply pass our let's say the curve, oh sorry, I forgot the name, sorry, let's DD and I will show you. I forgot the name, guys. Tags, let's DD the tags. Okay, oh sorry, yeah, right here, collection. So this is a very powerful method, compact, because we can simply get our records and pass them as a collection to our views. Okay, so yeah, it's for the collection. Okay, so now we will be able to see and for each our tags and categories on the category blade. Let me show you. Now I have removed the DD. So now we have our view. Now I am going to remove these fields and I'm going to use for each for printing these fields. Okay, for the categories, first of all, I'm going to assign this value to be null. So it is handled as a required field. So let's say if we select this select category from right here, it is going to throw an error that this is not a category and you need to select a category right here. Okay, so that's why I did this value empty. Okay, let's do a for each @ for each dollar categories as dollar category, and let's get the name. First of all, option value would be the category ID, and right here category name, dollar category name. Okay, and let's enter for each right after this. So this is how we for each our fields. Let me show you. Now we will be able to see some real data. See the 5 categories: programming, health, sports, learning, Laravel, etc. Okay, now let's print our tags right here as well. Okay, let's do that. And for that, and in this case we are not using this option for the tags. I have told you, because we are using select to, and we don't have, basically if you are going to use a placeholder like this for this select to, you are going to have some issues in the CRUD operations. So just ignore that and use the placeholder for the select to like this. Okay, let's move forward, and I'm going to remove each and every field from right here, and I'm going to use for each $tags as $tag @ end for each, and let's print our options, and for the options value would be $tag ID, that's it, and value would be, sorry, the text would be the tag name. Let's move and refresh, and now guys we will be able to see our tags right here. Okay, so now we can simply implement the CRUD because we have our relationships in place, we have our input fields related to categories and tags right here, we are having some real data in the inner forms. Okay, so now let's proceed with creating the blog. Okay, my first blog, I'm going to copy this, let's make this like this, and in this case I'm going to write it my first blog like this. Okay, and from the category I'm going to select learning Laravel, and let's say for the tags I'm going to select let's say this one, and I'm going to select 3. Okay, and let's upload an image, and I have already have blogs related image right here, and now I'm going to put something right here, my first blog image for the alternate text of the image, and right here let's say my first ever blog, and I'm going to copy this and paste it right here for the short description. Okay, let's do same right here, so we have some data. Okay, I'm feeling lazy guys. Okay, so now we have each and every field complete right here. Now let's create this, create. Okay, so now we have some error. Okay, attach, I misspelled it, sorry guys. Okay, this one, now you will be able to see we have the images. Why guys, any guesses? Okay, so what's going on right here that we are able to see images? Because the validation was successful from right here, then we started our image manipulation. We were right here, we created a record, but it just got filled right here. Okay guys, so everything was created, and let's say if the record event was not created, but we implemented the manipulation of the image before the create function. So what it does right here is, it is as I told you, it is going to look for the images folder. If it was unable to find it, it created one right here, and then it was looking for the blog images, it was unable to find it, so it create this procedure right here, created the blog images folder, and then we have our image folder right here. Okay, so let me show you that we have a record created, but the I misspelled the attach function, so that's why we got the error. Let me show you blogs right here guys. See, we have uploaded each and everything successfully. Okay, so I will move back in this case, and I'm going to spell it correctly. That's it, now it's correct, attach. Okay guys, sorry for the silly mistake. Now I'm going to write everything once again, my, let's say my second blog in this case, because we are going to have an error if we pass the same URL, my second blog. Okay, I'm going to copy this, and let's say this one to be second, and let's select another category, technology, and let's say, okay, so we can clear this as well, but that's part of the next video because we just turned back from the specific page and we are using select. So I'm going to refresh this page and everything is gone. Let's do it once again, my second blog. Don't you worry guys, we will ensure everything is working perfectly fine. Okay, left right here I need this to be a URL, so I'm going to add the hyphens and I'm going to select technology, let's say new blog, and let's say lifestyle, and in this case I'm going to use the second image, and my second blog I'm going to just put this exactly like this. Okay, so now let's create our blog once again, and now we have refreshed our page because we are not printing anything for the success message. So our blog was created and we didn't saw anything right here like the success message. We will do that in the next video because I have a lot of work to do in this video. Okay, so just want to show you that now we have our tags created. See, we had only 5 and now we are having 6 or 7 because we assigned the second blogs 2 tags. Okay, see, the record is created. Now let me show you the image is uploaded in the folder right here. Okay, so I hope you guys got the point. So this is how we create our blog, and now what I want to do, I want to implement some additional things. Let's say I'm going to submit the form, empty form. Now we have a lot of errors. I want each field related error right here just below that specific field. So let's do that first. Okay, so for that I will move to this one, create blog, and let's do that. Okay, so let's start with the title, and for that let's say @if $errors has title. I'm referring it to with the help of the input field name. Okay, so if I'm checking in the errors array that if we have any errors related to title, I want to print it right here. Okay, so let's end this if, and I'm going to get my error right here. $errors first and title. Now we will be able to see our errors just below the input field for this title only. Create. Okay guys, so now we are able to see our error just below this specific field. Okay, so now I hope everything is working perfectly fine and you got the point how to print specific error just below the specific input field. So I'm just going to copy this for each and every field, and I'm going to make some changes. Let's say in this case the name would be URL right here as well. I'm going to copy this once again. For the categories it will be, let's say, category, and for the once again right here I want the category related errors. Okay, let's move forward. Let's replace this one as well, that is tags. Okay, let's move forward. And for the image, in this case I want the check if we have any image related error, and let's say if we have it, print it right here. Let's move forward. Right here, image underscore alt and image underscore alt related error. For this one, meta, let's do meta and meta right here as well. Let's move forward, and right here it would be short description, and right here short description. Let's move forward. For the description and error right here, that is related to description. Okay, so for the active we don't have any sort of error. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, let's create because I want to see the errors. Okay guys, so now you can see we have errors. The title field is required, the URL field is required, and this and that, every field has its own error just below that specific input field. So I hope you guys like this, and now I don't need these errors because we have our errors in place. So I will just remove this. If you want to keep it, you can. Okay, and other than that I'm going to show you another way of using this error. Let's say if you want to count the error, because I told you there is going to be a lot for you to learn from. So let's start. Okay, I want to show you that how can you count your error and how can you put your condition. Let's say if we have one error, show some else message, and let's say if we have multiple errors, the message should change with R, etc., with plural words. Okay, so let's do that. First of all, I'm going to put a condition if we have errors. At if count $errors. Okay, now let's move forward, and I'm going to do one more thing. Count errors not equals to 0. So I hope you guys got the condition. Okay, if not, I'm just checking right here that if I'm basically counting my errors, and let's say if count errors not equal to 0, let's say I have one error that is not equal to 0, so I'm going to run this block. Okay, but let's say if I don't have any errors right here, so then in that case it would be 0, and 0 not equals to 0 condition, and a condition is false, so we are not going to run this block. Okay, so this is the condition. We are checking if we have any sort of error. Let's say 1, 5, whatever the count is. Okay, 1, 5, 6 not equals to 0, so we are going to run this block. So I hope I made it clear. Okay, let's move forward, and now I'm going to count the error once again. Count $errors, and this time let's say equals to 1. I'm checking if first of all I'm counting the error. Let's say I had one error. 1 is equals to 1, so I am going to print a message for only one error, and that would be, let's say, let me show you, div class alert minus danger, and let's say there is 1. I can do that, or I can basically count it. Let's say if I want to $count $errors. Okay, whatever the error is, there is 1. In this case it should be 1 because I put a condition for only 1. If 1 is equals to 1, then run this block. There is, or I can do write a simple 1 right here as well. Okay, but let me show you this way. There is one error in the form. Please correct the error to proceed. That's it. Okay, now let's say if error counts are greater than 1, what we can do is we can put everything in the else condition, and I'm going to copy this block of div, paste it right here, and I'm going to make it plural this time. There are, whatever the error count is, errors in the form. Please correct the errors to proceed. Okay, let's see this now, guys. Okay, unexpected, and sorry I missed something. Okay, if else, and I forgot to end it, and let's do it like this, and let's refresh. Okay guys, so see, we don't have any error. If I make a condition, or let's say if I remove it from right here, or I don't put a 0 right here, we are going to get this block anyway. Okay, so that's why I put a condition right here, if errors are not equals to 0. Let's say if I don't have this block, let's say what we have, undefined variable count. Okay guys, so just keep that in mind. Okay, Control Z and count errors. Okay, let's do that, guys. Now what I'm going to do is simply let's get the error. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to submit empty form. Okay, so we are getting this error because of something else. Sorry guys, sorry for the silly mistake. Make the variable optional in the blade. I know that, but I don't want that. Count $errors. Let's see what I'm doing wrong right here. Oops, I saw the error, guys, right here. Why am I using $? Right here? Because count is a function. Sorry guys, sorry. Okay, let's refresh, and let me show you the other condition as well. Okay, I will just, let's say, remove it for now because I want to show you, I want you to learn, guys. Okay, so now you can see we have this block every time we don't have any error, but we are having this block. So that's why I put a condition, and let's complete, or let's say end a div right here, so we don't have this going everywhere, this div. And I want text to be text center. Okay, and right here as well, so text center. Okay, let's see this once again. Refresh and see, we don't have any error, but we are able to see this div. So that's why I put a condition like this, at if. I can do many things. We can resolve it with the help of many, let's say, conditions or whatever you can say. But for me right now, the best approach is, because you guys are beginners, so let's do it like this so that everyone can understand. 0, and I'm going to end it at the rate end if. Now let's say if we have many errors, okay, submit, because we have many errors, so it is going to count for us. There are 9 errors in the form. Please correct the errors to proceed. Now you can count the errors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay guys, so this is how we can resolve or counter errors, and we can print the errors just below the input fields. Okay, so I hope you guys like this, and I'm going to change this because we don't have any space below that, so I'm going to look for it, and no problem. But for now my task is to show you guys something else. That is, let me show you. First of all, let's get one error. Blog, let's say I have this and I have this. I want to show you the other error as well. I have something, okay, in each field right here, okay, and I don't have anything in the image, so we only have one error. Now we should see the one error related block. There is one error in the form. Please correct the error to proceed. So I hope you guys understand this. Okay, now I want to show you one more thing, so I'm going to refresh. Okay, first of all guys, what I want to tell you is that, let's say if I put something right here, okay, so I have something and this input field is not like empty, and we have minimum of 3 characters and less than 255, so it should work perfectly fine, and we will not be able to see any sort of error right here. But what it is going to do is, let's say if I submit my form, it is going to remove that specific word, whatever I wrote right here, and it is just going to remove it. So let's handle this one as well. Okay, so I hope you guys are interested about this. Okay, let's do that, because Laravel keeps track of the variables that are basically it creates a session, whole session, and it saves everything for you. So all you have to do is simply, for the title, so let's say if there was any validation error regarding other fields, what you can do is you can always use old, and in this case the name is title. That's it. Let me show you first, then we will proceed with furthers. Okay, so now if I'm going to write something, create, and now you can see we have our data right here and we don't have any sort of error. Okay, so I hope you guys like this. Okay, let's proceed with this one for the other fields as well. Okay, for the URL I'm going to write, well, no, we have value right here. Let's do this, old, and in this time URL, and let's move forward. We are not going to use the old for categories just like this. I have another way for you, because this is a select box and select field, so we are going to do it a bit differently, because we cannot simply use this old tags for these fields. Okay guys, just keep that in mind. Okay, let's move forward, and for the uploaded image we can't use this old, because whenever you are going to come back or return back to a page, there you don't have any access to the image, so I will leave this, and I will move forward right here, image alt value, and let's say old image underscore alt. Okay, let's move forward, and now we have image alt in place. For the meta, let's do that as well, old, Control Z, old meta. Okay, let's move forward. For the description, we don't have basically it is a text area. So for the text area, what you are going to do, you are not going to use a value attribute, but what we have to do usually is write it here, just between the text area elements. Okay, old short description. That's it, guys. Okay, now it's done. Okay, I'm going to copy this because we have another text area that is related to description. So I'm going to write it between the text elements, and I'm going to remove this short. That's it. Okay, let me show you once again that we are basically saving our fields except this category and text. So I'm going to write something, and I'm not going to select image, let's say, so that we can have some error. And live, this one, this one, this one. So we have an error, but we are going to get everything except this tags and categories. Okay, and image as well. Okay, create. Now when we submit our form and we have validation related issue, we have our fields right here, so that user don't have to write the whole form again. Okay, so I hope you guys like this. Okay, let's do this for the categories and tags, and for this we are going to do it a bit differently because this is a let's say selection option. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so just after this for each, I'm going to put a condition in this option right here. Okay, so for that, let's say what would be the condition? Any guesses, guys? Okay, so you guys don't know, I know. Okay, just kidding. Okay, let's move forward. So I'm going to put a condition, let's say that would be, let's say if we have old category, what you have to do is we are simply going to check it against, let's say we have old category equals to the category ID that I'm using, that I'm getting with the help of this for each. So I'm going to check it with this one, $category, sorry, spelling mistake. Okay, so if old category is equals to category ID, what you have to do is apply selected. Else what you have to do is, once again I'm using ternary condition, as you can see. Okay, do nothing. That's it, guys. So I hope you guys got the point. Basically, guys, in this case the input field name is category. Okay, so we are going to get the old value in this category right here, old category. What I'm doing right here is, because we are using for each to print our options, so that so in this case what I'm using old categories and matching it, or basically applying a condition if old category equals to the category ID that you are currently using for each, or with the help of for each you are printing the ID. Just match the ID with the old category, and if it is equal to the old category ID, what you have to do, apply it or mark it as selected. Other than that, or else do nothing in this case. So let me show you this one as well. Refresh. I just want to show you everything so that there is no confusion left. Okay, guys. Okay, and create. Okay, so now you can see we have our Laravel, learning Laravel selected. Let's say technology, create, and now we will have this field created. See, technology. So this is working perfectly fine. Now let's do it for the select text, and for this one it is again a bit different. Why? Because right here we have multiple select options. Okay, so let's do that. Let's cover it quickly because the video we have already consumed a lot of time, so let's do that quickly. Okay, so for this let's put a condition like, let's say if we have old tags, what we can do, yeah, we can check it in the array. Okay, so let's do that. @ if old tags, because this time we have an array, because we can select multiple fields from this options. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay, if old tags, so let's do it right here, Control X, and I'm going to remove everything and do it right here. Okay, if old tags, what you have to do is check in array if we have tag $tag, sorry, once again I'm using this tag, the one we are for each, we are getting each and every time when we are looping through our records. Okay, tag id, in array tag id, check for the, let's say, old tags. Yeah, as simple as that, old tags. Okay, so I think now it's fine. I will check for the closure. Okay, so if we have old tags, do this in array, and in this case the array is right here. Okay, check for the tag id, and if it does match, what we have to do is we can simply mark selected, or else we can simply do nothing. And let's end if a loop at the rate, and not a loop but end if condition. Okay, let's try this. Refresh. I think everything looks fine to me. Okay, select live top rated changed, create, we have error, we got back. Now we have our field selected, so this is also working perfectly fine. So here we have successfully completed our creation of blog. In the next video, because it is getting the video is basically I have exceeded my time limit for this video, but sorry guys, but I hope you guys learned a lot. And in the next video I am going to fix this, because I don't like this form right now. See, there is no gap. Okay, so we are going to do something about this. No problem, I will deal with it and I will show you. Okay, and one more thing, when we create our blog, we are not able to see any success message. So we will implement that in the next video, and for that I'm going to use, just want to tell you, I'm going to be using this script or JavaScript or jQuery, whatever you can say, and we are going to get this success, and we are going to we are getting, basically when we create a record, we save this success in our sessions, and with the help of session I'm going to get it right here in the jQuery section, and I'm going to put a condition to return a sweet alert or print, or let's show, sorry guys, show the sweet alert. Okay, so we are going to use that, and we will fix our form in the next video. So I hope you guys like the video, and we have successfully created our blogs, we have implemented the relationship, and everything is working like a charm. So I hope you guys like this video. If you liked it, please like, subscribe and share. Thank you, take care, and yes guys, be ready. Okay, take care guys.